Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. If you love staying informed but just want the facts presented clearly, directly, and visually, you are in the exact right place. Today, we're decoding 4 major updates that span our environment, our cultural heritage, and our rapidly shifting economy. We've got a lot to cover, so let's dive right in. Here's a quick look at our agenda for today. We'll be hitting 4 sections. First, protecting the Clerk Wildlife Sanctuary. Second, India's first language museum. Third, funding the cultural arts. And finally, number 4, the giant curd plant. All right, kicking things off with Section 1, protecting Clerk Wildlife Sanctuary. Let's start with a quick geography check, just to get our brains fired up. The Clerk Wildlife Sanctuary is located in which Indian state? I'll give you a second to lock in your guess. Did you guess Andhra Pradesh? If so, you absolutely nailed it. This expansive sanctuary spans right across the West Godavari and Christian districts. And it's incredibly important because it acts as a natural balancing reservoir between those 2 massive river deltas. It literally prevents flooding and sustains an immense amount of biodiversity. So why are we talking about it today? Well, the sanctuary is making major headlines right now because the Supreme Court-appointed Central Empowered Committee, or CEC, has had to step in. They've handed down some pretty strict directives to the Andhra Pradesh government regarding a huge explosion of illegal fish ponds. These unregulated aquaculture operations are, unfortunately, severely degrading the water quality and messing with the natural drainage. It's a direct threat to a very fragile wetland ecosystem. To really understand why this legal protection matters so much, you have to look at the history. The Wildlife Protection Act was enacted back in 1972, and the sanctuary itself was officially established in 1999. But its true global recognition, that came in 2002, when Clerk Lake was officially designated as a Ramsar site. That marks it as a wetland of international importance. So we aren't just talking about local zoning violations here. We're talking about preserving a globally recognized ecological treasure. Okay, moving right along to Section 2, India's first language museum. Shifting gears a bit from natural wetlands to our incredibly rich linguistic history. India's very first immersive language museum, the Museum of Word, or Shabdalok, has just been established. But in which city? Think about India's major historical literary hubs for a second. The answer is Kolkata, which is honestly a really fitting choice given its long-standing legacy as a center for literature and the intellectual renaissance. This groundbreaking new cultural landmark was recently inaugurated right at the National Library, and it operates directly under the Union Ministry of Culture. Now, what makes this so cool is that it isn't just a static display of dusty old books. It's a heavily technology-driven interactive experience designed to literally bring linguistics to life. And the sheer scale of this project really comes down to just one number, 22. This museum is entirely dedicated to showcasing all 22 of India's officially recognized languages. It's a massive undertaking. We're talking about an experience sprawling across 9 distinct interactive galleries, celebrating just an unbelievable diversity of Indian scripts and literature. As you walk through, the exhibits actually guide you through the evolutionary journey of our languages across 3 major eras. It starts off with ancient oral traditions, back when language survived strictly by voice and human memory. Then, it steps into the era of ancient manuscripts, showing how scripts were first formed and recorded on things like palm leaves and early paper. Finally, it brings visitors right up to the present day to explore modern digital texts. It's basically a complete timeline of human communication on the subcontinent. Right, let's pivot to Section 3, funding the cultural arts. So we just talked about a massive, high-tech cultural project, but how are these kinds of initiatives actually supported on a broader scale? The Kala Sanskriti Vikas Yojana, or KSVY, is a major scheme for this. But which ministry is responsible for implementing it? No surprises here, it is the Ministry of Culture. Now, a really important detail is that this is a central sector scheme. That means it is directly funded by the central government. The capital flows straight out of the Consolidated Fund of India via the annual union budget. So this represents a very direct, top-down financial commitment to cultural preservation. Let's break down exactly what this scheme actually does. In a nutshell, KSVY is a financial assistance program providing much-needed funding to eligible cultural organizations and individual artists. And the absolute most crucial takeaway here is that this isn't just for, giant, big-city museums. It explicitly targets grassroots talent. That includes tribal and rural performing artists out there who are doing the vital work of keeping localized, ancient art forms alive. To truly strengthen this creative economy, the ministry operates through a couple of specific channels. First up, you have the Rashna Tamak Bharat Initiative. This focuses on modernizing the arts sector, things like capacity building, getting artists real market access, and digital enablement. And alongside that, the government actively promotes culture on the ground through 7 zonal cultural centers. These are deliberately spread out across Patiala, Nagpur, Udaipur, Prayagraj, Kolkata, Dimapur, and Tanjavur. It's a fantastic dual approach, ensuring modern economic integration while maintaining deep regional preservation. Okay, bringing us to our final topic today, Section 4, the giant curd plant. We are pivoting from the arts straight into agriculture and industry. The world's largest curd manufacturing plant is currently being developed. Any guesses on which Indian state is building it? The answer is West Bengal. Specifically, this is the Amol Bengal Dairy Project, and it's taking shape at the Howrah Food Park. Things officially kicked off just recently when Union Home Minister Amit Shah performed the Bhumi Pujan for the facility. It marks a really major industrial pivot for the entire region. Now prepare yourself for this number. 700 crore rupees. That's a massive, massive investment. And it's about so much more than just building a single factory. This is a highly strategic move designed to strengthen what's being called White Revolution 2.0. The goal is to inject serious capital to revitalize the dairy cooperative movement and build out a robust, modern supply chain. To put that scale into perspective, let's look at the actual production targets. Even just in its first phase, this plant is going to process 10 lakh liters of milk every single day. That alone is going to directly benefit around 1.20 lakh local milk-producing livestock rearers in West Bengal. But the final phase target? That is what's truly mind-boggling. They are aiming to process 30 lakh liters of milk daily to yield 10 lakh kilograms of curd and cultured dairy products every day. The economic ripple effect this will have on local farmers and the broader cooperative ecosystem is just going to be immense. So we've covered a vast amount of ground today, from the strict, vital legal protection of the Kolaroo wetlands all the way to the massive economic engine of White Revolution 2.0. It really leaves us with a big question. How will these highly localized regional initiatives ultimately shape India's broader macroeconomic and environmental future? The interconnectedness of all these sectors is exactly what makes studying current affairs so fascinating. Thank you so much for joining me to decode these updates, and I will see you in the next explainer.